My name is Miss Suchi. I'm the only female laughter coach in the whole world who conducts 100 types of laughter exercises. What it has got to do with virology and infectious diseases like COVID-19 and stuff. I would like to share an experiment which I did and presented in many conferences. So it's all about the words we use for ourselves. So be it whether you are infected with any infectious diseases or you're leading a normal life, we can't go around and hold others' mouth, stop them from saying the things they say about us, but we can take full control over what we say about ourselves. So what I did was I cut an apple into two parts. So I made some slices in both bowls. I kept both bowls in the same environment, temperature, environment, everything was same. The only difference was words. So what I did was I picked up one bowl and took it to another room and spoke with those apple slices very lovingly, like, I love you. I am so glad that I bought you today. You're gonna give me a lot of vitamins. You're gonna make my skin look better. Thank you so much. I love you. You're so juicy. And I said all sorts of nice things, and I brought that bowl back to the same spot. Then I picked up the other bowl, and although I do not say anything negative usually because I have worked on my language, but just for that experiment, I said a lot of negative words saying like, I hate you. I don't know why this part does not look that great. I don't think you're going to be helpful to me. And I don't know all those stuff I said to that negative words I said to those apple slices. Then I brought it back. Both the bowls were kept in the same environment. The only difference was the word. So I kept on doing it every day. On the third day, the apple slices, which I spoke lovingly to, were doing quite okay. But the one which I was using negative words like you are bad, you are this, you are that. Why did I? But you're not going to be helpful to my health, for my health and to my body and stuff. So that started looking little like dark green, blue, and there was some fungus started to develop. So uh, our body is made up of 70 to 70% of water, and in our body there are tissues and there are cells in it. So there's in those cells there's water in it. So what happens is when someone is saying something to us, like something bad, those water crystals in our body start to react and change accordingly. So the very first message here is, no matter what others say to you, you can take full control over what you say to ourselves. So the laughter therapy I have designed, it includes positive affirmations like, I'm happy, I'm awesome, I'm power, I'm a millionaire, I am blessed, I am loved, I am powerful. So what these affirmations do to the body is it helps to change the body chemistry and the brain chemistry. So that's my first message about my experiment. Number two is my works are all about happy hormones. So I help people understand that, be it you're going through some, when your family members are having COVID-19, or even if you're not having it, you're sitting down and thinking about COVID-19, and your immunity is going lower day by day, be it that reason or some other reason where you are very, very stressful about your family members not be doing well, or you yourself not doing well in many areas, not only health wise, then it's very important to understand how to manage stress levels. What is stress? What are happy hormones? Is there any link between happy hormones and stress hormones? How can we continue to boost our happy hormones and keep our stress hormones really like low quantity? We get it that much, which is important for us to save ourselves. So in order for me to zoom into that area, I would like to share with you what stress is. And so when we ask around, like, okay, what do you think what stress is? Oh, stress is because of that. Like, no, I'm not asking you the reason. What stress is? Stress is this, stress is that, but many of them are not aware about what exactly stress is. Stress is primarily a physical response. So whenever our body is designed, the way we are designed is it's so beautiful and fantastic, it's amazing. So whenever we see or perceive ourselves in a threat, like okay, something is going to cause us harm, or we see it as a threat, our brain, not knowing the difference between whether it's a real threat or it's a perceived threat, brain just starts to do its work. So it starts to release a mixture of neurochemicals like norepinephrine, adrenaline, just in order for us to take the action so that we can save ourselves. So stress is built in us as a protective gear so that we can take action and save ourselves. So what happens in like these days, what's happening is like, okay, you have sanitized your hands, you put on your mask, you're boosting your immunity by eating like lots of good food, you're doing very well, but then you watch the news, you read all those negative messages about COVID-19, then you start to see COVID-19 as a perceived threat. It's like, what if I get it? What if my mommy, dad, my family, what if, and brain would do its job, not knowing whether you really have COVID-19 or you have that infection or you are just thinking. So brain starts to be the mixture of neurochemicals like norepinephrine, adrenaline, cortisol, just for you to take the actions you can save yourself. So there will be this urge of taking action. So the most of the we take action by using our hands and legs. Okay, someone is coming in front of your car, so you need to make sure that you maneuver the car that way that you save yourself and save that person. So it's so important to understand that stress is in us so that we can save ourselves and nothing much. So stress is a protective gear, and it's all about really knowing whether this threat is real or it's a perceived threat, because brain wouldn't know the difference. Brain would still release a mixture of neurochemicals, and those neurochemicals are not good for you if you remain in that state of being stressful on a long term, because it becomes detrimental to your health. When your brain continuously releases norepinephrine, adrenaline, cortisol, what's happening is your blood pressure shoots higher, that sugar levels are going to be higher as well. So when someone remains in that state of like, okay, what if I get COVID-19? What if, and this whole system goes haywire, and most of the people are being, they are not able to know what stress is or to understand or to manage, so that some of them practice fight. So they just start to raise their voices, they would throw things around because they don't know how to manage stress. So that's fight. Some of them would go away saying that, okay, my wife is causing me stress, my boss is causing me stress, so I don't want to go to this cabin. My husband is causing me stress, so whenever he comes home, I just go to kitchen just to avoid him. So people use fight technique where they throw things around, they shout, scream, and they don't really know what's going on inside their body, and then they avoid each other. Like, I don't want to see my team members or my colleagues or because you think that they are causing you stress. So that's, you can't be going away from people on the long term. How can you avoid people if you want to work with them? Or you can't be shouting, screaming, throwing things around if you want to work, because it work with all the people, because it's not good for your personal relationships and your professional image as well. There is another category of people who are using the technique freeze. It's not a technique, but when someone remains in the state of being stressful all the time, the brain does not receive enough oxygen and blood supply, which is needed to take so that brain can work properly. So most of the blood supply and oxygen which is needed to take the action, hands and legs. So the digestion will be compromised, and there's a lot of stress would be throwing things around. As I mentioned, they're shouting, they will avoid each other, they would, and when the brain loses the ability to think straight, these people will start to lie, don't know what to do. So if somebody don't know what to do, really take towards that person, that not receiving comes to of the less than oxygen and legs, because that's where how we take action. Like, okay, I need to save myself, I need to save myself, I need to do something. So there's this starts to build up. Very soon this will go before they even realize to have suicidal thoughts. I had saved 32 people who were having suicidal thoughts. I had saved 51 people from depression just by using laughter therapy, which I will be talking about in a while. So I spoke about what stress is. It's primarily a physical response. It's in us so that we can save ourselves. I spoke about an experiment where no matter what other people say, you can take full control of your life and your body chemistry and brain chemistry by saying good things to yourself, like I'm happy, awesome, I'm power, I can do this, I am amazing, I'm awesome. So which I use it during the laughter therapy. So it's so important to take charge of your life, not by don't waste your time blaming others, like because of this, because of that, but take full charge of your life by saying good things to yourself. Because now I shared that experiment that when we say negative words to anybody, even to ourselves, like your self-critic saying that I'm not good, my this is not good, I'm not good at that. So it changes your self chemistry. Okay, so stress is primarily physical response. Then I spoke about stress hormones. So when you need to get stress hormones that much, which is helpful for you to take the action. So, because you can't be having no stress hormones in your body. If you're driving a car, you have no ability to feel stressful, you're just going to drive straight in front of your car because you have no ability to feel stressful. So in that manner, stress is good, but it's just all about then knowing the relationship. Like, okay, when I boost my happy hormones, I can keep my stress hormones at the bay, like just little, so that I can save myself. So this is such an important and a very empowering fact. Okay? There are 4 types of happy hormones. When we learn how to take it just by making some slight changes and routines and lifestyle, just not so much, but just few changes. And when we do that, we can get dosage of happy hormones as much as we want, so that not only it just uplifts our mood, but also it helps us to do very well professionally, because it's to feel motivated, to feel inspired, to have this kind of energy. Like, I can do it, yay! So it's important to understand and then apply. You make some changes here and there, and then you get a dosage of happy hormones. So number one will be dopamine. It's called the reward chemical. You feel demotivated and not so inspired. You feel like, okay, I don't have the energy or the mood to go on, and I'm very tired. You need to know that you're lacking the reward chemical, dopamine. How do we get that? So you complete a task, like as simple as when you get up from the bed, don't throw away your comforter and blanket, whatever you're using. Make sure that you fold it nicely and make your beds. That's completing a task. So when you complete a task, your brain releases the reward chemical dopamine. Doing self-care activities. So make sure that you shower nicely, you do your hair, you take good care of yourself, you spend some time with yourself, you calm down, you do practice relaxation. When you do that, you practice self-care activities, your brain will release dopamine. So when you continue to get your dopamine, you would have this feeling of like, I'm rewarded, yay, I can do it, and you will go on and on like me. Like I have been going on and on like this as a volunteer, saving lives, doing very well in all the areas of my life. Eating food like almonds, apples, blueberries, bananas, so include this kind of food in your diet so that you can get the reward chemical dopamine. And celebrating little wins. Is that an example would be when I was writing a book called To Happiness. I did not wait for the whole book to complete in order to celebrate. So when I did my first page of the cover page of the book, I shared on social media platforms, and everybody's like, wow, Miss Suchi, that looks so vibrant and so colorful. I absolutely love the cover. I'm waiting for your book. Please take my order. So there was this reward chemical in my brain. I was getting it in my body, like dopamine, like yay, because I celebrated little win. That was a little win, right? So people they plan big goals, like overwhelming goals, and then they get very overwhelmed, and then they just give up. They don't want to go on and then achieve it because they do not celebrate little wins. Okay, so dopamine is the reward chemical. Number 2 is serotonin, and it's called the mood stabilizer. So if you have somebody around you who throws tantrums, and like one moment you feel like, oh, I'm so in a good mood, and the next moment you're like, I'm so depressed. So then you need to know that you need to have the mood stabilizer, serotonin. How do you get it? You walk in the nature, you go for a stroll, walk when it comes to lake, hills, mountains, wherever you can. Even if you can't go out to to forest and not very near nature, you can always create a nice cozy corner at your home by putting some nice plants and a water fountain. I have that always with me when in our country it's encouraged. In Singapore, we're encouraged to out, encouraged to work out, encouraged to exercise. But in some countries, it's like during the lockdown and this restricted body movements and phrase circuit breakers. They were told not to go out, right? So you cannot make excuses saying, oh, because I'm told not to go out, so how to get the dosage of serotonin? You can always create nice corners, nice garden at your home. Is don't complain about not having space. You can always do it in your hall. I mean, in your bedroom, in just one corner, you can create nice, keep a nice stand, and then just keep some pots and just be near nature, right? So sun exposure, running. I just ran 8 kilometers yesterday. So I'm a marathon runner. I had done it. I had done like 42 kilometers, 21.5, and all sorts of runs. So sun exposure is important, but you need to make sure that you apply sunblock before you go into sun. Walk in the nature, swimming, cycling, whatever helps. They say, oh, Suchi, I don't like to cycle. I don't like to swim. I am not a water baby. Like, I don't like to swim as well, but I like to run. So you need to find out what suits you, and then you do that kind of exercise and get the exposure accordingly, so that you get your reward chemical, that is serotonin. Oxytocin is called the love hormone. So it's not about having a boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, and husband in your life so that you feel love. It's more about getting the love hormone oxytocin by playing with the pet. So you play with the pet, your dog, cat, hamster, rabbit, whatever. Oh, Suchi, but I don't have a pet. Then you play with the baby. Oh, but there's no baby around. I'm not married, or I don't have baby yet. Then you can you make sure you hold hands, your family members' hands. Oh, but we are not allowed to, you're not encouraged to hold hands among friends. So you can hug yourself. You can hug yourself for 3 seconds, breathe in and breathe out and say, I love you. So whenever you do this kind of activities, you hold hands, you play with the pet, you play with the baby, you take good care, you hug your family members, you give a compliment, say, thank you, Anna Joy, thank you, Joan, for having me, thank you. Conference Minds, I think you just talk about the conference name, who invited you, the company, and then say thank you. So when you give a compliment, your body will, your brain will release oxytocin. Last but not the least is endorphins. Explore essential oils to make sure that you know what essential oils suit you, and then you use that essential oil to relax as much as you can, so your brain can release endorphins. Watch a comedy. When you watch a comedy, don't just laugh like yeah, this part of the body, but you practice belly laughter. So when you laugh out loud using your belly, because when you laugh out loud using your belly for 15 to 20 minutes, your brain will release endorphins, not knowing whether you are really happy, whether you are you can just fake it. You can fake being happy. Brain will release endorphins, not knowing whether it's real or not. Okay, because when you practice belly laughter, your brain automatically releases endorphins. Yes, it's really it's the painkiller. So I have treated many people who are having slight pain in their bodies, like shoulder pain, headache, knee ache, knee pain. When they came to the session, they were having pain, and after the session, it was gone. They were really good. So I have many testimonials. Whatever I'm saying is not just because I have already practiced it, I have applied it, and because people have already mentioned it many times that this is working for them. That's why I'm here to share this with you. So dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins. I spoke about 4 happy hormones, and there's a connection between happy hormones and stress hormones. So when you continue to boost your happy hormones, your stress hormones will be going lower. So you always keep them at very low percentage, that you only need it when you need to take action and save yourself. Okay, so stress is in us to make us strong. No, be it an infectious disease or any other, for due to any other issue, your family members, yourself, you're feeling very stressful, you need to make sure that you manage it really well, because it becomes detrimental to our health when we remain in that state of feeling stressful for a very long time. So there are many ways to manage stress, and what I shared just now is just few ways. So just make sure that you make changes in your lifestyles and routines in order to get dosage of happy hormones. And when it comes to laughter therapy, I had designed it myself. I had learned some exercises locally. Then I weaved a lot of good things into it to tailor it to, if it's for children, it's a little different. If it's for wheelchair bound people, it's different. It's for intellectually disabled or specially able people, it's different. So I've been doing this around the world, and I'm looking forward to see you in real and conduct for you when possible, when we need not wear masks and we all can really hug each other and share joy with each other in real, not just virtually like this. So I am very grateful to Anna and Joan for having me here. Thank you. I am now ready for questions. I need to move to the next appointments. I'm here. You can ask me efficiency. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for this nice informative presentation. I just want to know, how do you advise those patients? Usually they get, if they're stressed about the result of the laboratory or the surgery, and they tend to eat more. For them, it's like eating like chocolate, for example, it's giving them pleasure. But um, for the health of the body is not really advisable. So how can you help us to deal this kind of patient or this kind of attitude?
Okay, thank you for your question. Is it Elvesa? No, it's a nice name.
Elvesa,
Thank you.
yes.
Elvesa, thank you. Well, when I advise people how to manage stress using various ways, one of it is eating dark chocolate. So when we shop for chocolates, we need to make sure that we're not getting chocolates which are sugar loaded. So you go for 85 to 90% of cocoa powder. So give that person a small piece of chocolate and let that person put it on the tongue. Play some nice soothing music with piano sound, and you say things like breathe in and breathe out. All the stress from your body is now melting. Take another breath in. So when you do this kind of activities with the patient, dark chocolate being one of the stress, it helps to remove stress very quickly, but you need to make sure that you are not getting the chocolate which is sugar loaded. So get chocolates, but get with a lot of cocoa powder, which is good for stress, removing stress. So let it melt on the tongue and let the patient rest head on the pillow, play some nice music, and use some nice words like just now I said, like breathe in, breathe out, release all the stress from your. You are now feeling better, something like that. There are so many ways I do it. So this is one of the ways to help the patient to eat the chocolate, but at the same time help him or her to recover quickly by not giving him or her sugar-loaded chocolate. And it also takes care of depression. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the response.